Shafilea Ahmed, a 17-year-old schoolgirl murdered by her own parents. Why? Because they thought she was becoming too westernised and were ashamed of her. When her body was found early in 2004, Iftikhar and Farzana Ahmed played the part of the devastated parents. A picture of grief and innocence. They appealed for help.
I mean, we just wish for somebody could tell us what happened to us. We appeal to the public, if anybody knows anything, to come forward.
What leads a mother and a father to kill their own daughter? Please watch the rest of the video to find out. Today's video will be about the tragic honour killing of Shafilea Ahmed, a young woman whose life was cruelly taken. Shafilea was born in Braford, England in 1986 to Iftikhar and Farzana Ahmed, a couple who had immigrated recently from Pakistan. Growing up, Shafilea straddled two cultures. She excelled at school and dreamed of becoming a lawyer, embracing the opportunities that her British upbringing offered. But at home, her life was dominated by strict traditional values that left little room for her own independence. Her parents were deeply rooted in cultural expectations, believing Shafilea should behave modestly, prioritise family honour, and accept an arranged marriage. As a teenager, Shafelea's desire for freedom clashed with these rigid demands. She loved Western clothing, socialised with friends, and pursued all her studies, all actions that her parents viewed as rebellious and shameful. Over time, the tensions at home escalated. Shafilea often confided in friends and teachers about the emotional and physical abuse she endured. She spoke of her parents' attempts to control her, and there were signs of her fear, but she was reluctant to seek outside help. The situation worsened in 2003 when Shafelea's parents took her to Pakistan under the guise of visiting family. Once there, she discovered their true intent, to force her into a marriage with an older man. Shafilea resisted, and in a desperate attempt to avoid the wedding, she drank bleach. This act severely damaged her throat and stomach, leaving her in need of urgent medical attention. Her parents were then forced to return her to the UK, where she spent weeks in hospital recovering. Despite this clear cry for help, Shafelea's circumstances at home remained dire. Then, in September 2003, just months after her return, Shafilea disappeared. Her parents claimed that she had ran away, a story that initially seemed plausible given her previous attempts to escape their control. However, her friends and teachers knew this wasn't like her. The search for Shafilea went on for months, but there was no trace of her. Then, on February 4, 2004, the mystery took a chilling turn. A pair of walkers were near the River Kent in Cumbria when they came across something horrifying. Partially buried in the riverbank was a decomposed body wrapped in a black bin bag. The state of decomposition suggested the body had been there for months, and the surrounding area showed no signs of recent activity. Police worked quickly to identify the remains. Using dental records, they confirmed what many feared: the body belonged to Shafilea Ahmed. Her cause of death was ruled as asphyxiation, though the level of decomposition meant some details of her final moments were lost. What was clear, however, was that her death was no accident. Someone had gone to great lengths to conceal her body in a remote location. The discovery sent shockwaves throughout the community. For Shafelea's family, this should have been a moment of grief and mourning. Instead, suspicion fell on her parents, Iftikhar and Farzana Ahmed. Their behaviour during the investigation raised red flags, and whispers of their involvement grew louder. For years, the truth about what happened to Shafilea remained hidden, but in 2010 the case took a significant turn when Shafelea's younger sister, Alicia Ahmed, broke her silence. She revealed a horrifying truth. Shafelea's death was not the result of a random attack or an accident. She had been murdered in her own home, in front of her own siblings, by her own parents. Alicia testified that on the night of Shafelea's death, a violent argument broke out. Iftikhar and Farzana accused Shafilea of bringing shame to the family and damaging their reputation. As the argument escalated, they forced Shafilea onto the couch, shoved a plastic bag into her mouth, and suffocated her while her other children watched on in terror. After killing Shafilea, the parents devised a plan to hide their crime. They drove to Cumbria, nearly 70 miles from their home in Bradford, and dumped her body along the banks of the River Kent, hoping it would never be found. In 2012, after Alicia's courageous testimony, Iftikhar and Farzana were arrested, tried and convicted of Shafelea's murder. Both were sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 25 years. The judge described their actions as gross abuse of parental authority, driven by outdated notions of family honour. She was a young woman with dreams of independence and a future full of potential. While her life was tragically cut short, her story continues to inspire efforts to combat honour-based violence and ensure that no one else has to suffer in silence as she did. I'd like to say RIP to Shafilea Ahmed, and I sincerely hope something like this never ever happens again. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the growth of the channel.